know. I've heard very good things about this stuff. Way better than bleach or ammonia. And, well, you see, when I applied bleach to it this most recent time, I noticed there were smoky plumes. This wood has been ammonia treated. Probably in 1900. But apparently ammonia doesn't go away. And so spraying bleach was creating mustard gas. No wonder it smelled so strong down here. This stuff is pretty inert. It's basically, from what I've read anyway, it's some sort of salt solution. And it follows the thread of the mold all the way down into the source, which is really what you want. It does not remove any stains, but I have a pressure sprayer that I'm going to put some of this in. You can rent foggers for like 20 bucks for 4 hours or $28 for a whole day from like Home Depot that are specifically for this stuff. It's called concrobium is the... I am unsure if that's a brand name or a product name. And it says it like right there. That's how you spell that while I put the lid on. So this is a gallon. And I probably need the whole thing, but I'm just going to start with a little bit of it. And like, you know, I guess see how it goes, huh? One over. So I'm just going to let the wand drag a little bit. This area here is where the worst of it is. Right up in there. So, I've seen the worst back in there. So I'll let that run through. And then these boards have white speckling on them all through this area. And it would be a lot faster, for sure, to do the fogger. And honestly, I think I still will. I just wanted to get started without delay. Oops, I kicked you, sorry. I wanted to get started and not wait at all on what I was seeing. So, what's the rush? Well, the rush is mold. So, I don't think it's suggested, but it's not required to wear the face breathing and everything protection. So, I figure always better safe than sorry, huh? So, if you weren't sure what product to use at any point. They don't recommend bleach for mold, and I found out why. It's because the chlorine off-gasses faster than the water dries. Which means that the effective portion of the product doesn't last long enough to make for it. It's not the last thing on there. Your wood's staying damp. So if you can't afford concrobium, because per gallon this stuff's 35 bucks, which is a heck of a lot better than having mold throughout your house, honestly. But if you can't afford concrobium, then a better option is either vinegar or ammonia. And there is a history, apparently, of ammonia treatment of very old wood. That a friend of mine sent me. They used to do it mostly for furniture, but would occasionally treat whole rooms. And I think it was an effective staving off mold for quite a long time. I mean, we're 117 years later here. It's not like it didn't work. It worked great. That's 117 years of effectiveness. So that's something they used to do. So if your support joists are over 100 years old and you see them dark, because the darkness of them is an indicator of this ammonia treatment. If you see that, then you won't want to use vinegar, because that'll just make foam and be less effective, because you're mixing an acid and a base. And if you remember those funny experiments you used to do in like 3rd grade with baking soda and vinegar, that's what happens when you mix an acid and a base. And they also both become less effective for what you were hoping them to do. So, if you have ammonia apparent in your boards, that's the way around it. Adding more to the sprayer here. Because it's coming out very slowly now. They put in less than half, and there's still definitely some in here, so you know, if this can get like the whole ceiling, everything structural down here for 35 bucks and actually work, who the heck am I to complain, huh? So if you can't afford this liquid, then if you put vinegar on it and it foams or fizzles, then you definitely need to use ammonia. And those are the kind of products that are... Why isn't it staying locked in? There we go. Those are the kind of products that are, instead of being like 35 bucks a gallon, or like $1 or $2 a gallon. And they'll help. They will help. Definitely going to help. They may not fully fix the problem. And that is a potential. do think the ammonia would have, if I'd have bothered, I think it would have removed the staining of the mold. Because this stuff does not remove stain. The company makes one that does. Sorry. But it's a separate product. It's not a mold remover. Like stuff that removes the staining it's like a two-step thing. Yeah. And apparently a room this size, which is like 12 by 20 or something, it's the whole basement, it's the entire footprint of the house. Apparently, that with the fogger is only going to take 20 minutes. And they only advise that you should definitely remove things that would be damaged by getting wet. So that's pretty good. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to paint a lot of this after this is all over and better. I am so glad that we started to try and set up a studio down here so that I could realize this is happening. I think a lot of the reason that I'm doing it by a sprayer first instead of starting directly with the fogger is because of just wanting to be immune before I'd have to do like store contact. Like this is, they can do no contact pickup, but with the rentals I don't know as if they can. And I have had my first dose of the COVID vaccine, so I will probably undertake this the rest of the way pretty soon. This is touched again. So, for whatever that's worth, I think I'll just leave it at that and continue spraying stuff. You see, I've just done, I think 4 joists completely. Some of them probably twice because it's confusing. So it's pretty quick going with the sprayer. And I'm just going to keep working on that. Hope for the best. Let it dry, and this stuff's supposed to be pretty reliable, so here's hoping. Take care.